back today in Rocket Science. I'm Adam Balkin, bringing you this episode from E3, an annual trade show for the video game industry, where thousands of game designers and enthusiasts gather from across the world every year. The trade show isn't open to the public, so for those of us who don't work in the video game industry, it's only right we get a show of our own. So let's head to New York City, where thousands gathered for an event that marks the end of the week-long World Science Festival. The festival envelops the city and includes everything from amateur astronomy nights in the park to lectures and hands-on experiments, and even scientific theater, where the stories behind famous discoveries and mathematical equations are brought to life on the stage.
The performing arts piece, the art science piece, is very, very important to this festival because we wanted to open up new avenues of entry into science. So people who go to the ballet but wouldn't necessarily go to a science event, or people go to the theater, and have them get a sense of science through these performance pieces.
The idea of the festival is pretty straightforward: to give a place where kids, adults, families can immerse themselves in science and have an experience that doesn't feel like the classroom. Just take the joy of how the world works.
Today's event is the Washington Square Park Street Fair, the final event of the festival. Science fans can sample virtual reality, stationary bikes that create electricity as you pedal, soccer playing robots, and much more.
There's an experiment on the magnetic field. You get to do stuff here. You get to do stuff also in class, but here you get more hands-on experience.
I kind of like how there's so many mysteries of it. Like I saw elephant toothpaste. Everything's like different of not how you'd expect it.
There are some really great science teachers, but overall the experience that kids have in science classes is not something that inspires them. So if you can have an experience outside the classroom that transforms how you feel about science, makes you understand the drama of discovery, that's a great experience.
Now in its 9th year, Green sees a bright future for the festival.
We want this event to have its major footprint here in New York, but we're establishing partnerships around the world. We just had World Science Festival Brisbane, Australia. Spectacular event, and that's the model going forward, to have those events all around the world.
Now, from one fair to another, this one just as big, but instead of focusing on every kind of science out there, the Computer Science Opportunity Fair in New York City's Washington Heights neighborhood is focused entirely on, you guessed it, computer science. It's only in its 3rd year, but this science fair is en route to become the largest of its kind in New York City. The more than 2,000 students here got the chance to speak with representatives of over 100 tech companies and colleges.
They're here to meet companies and the people who work there, to see what the latest technology looks like, to talk to people from universities, to be inspired about things that they can do in the future if they stick with computer science.
And with companies on hand ranging from Facebook to eBay to Goldman Sachs, and schools like Carnegie Mellon and Yale, you don't have to go far to find students starting to think computer science might be right for them.
I think it's amazing that we get to explore different types of programs and opportunities. I'm thinking about changing my major into computer science now, since I didn't think that there were as many jobs for computer science.
I'm really interested in music. Well, computer science plays a big role in that, with the audio engineering. It's really great talking to all these schools about computer science and how they firmly believe that computer science is the future.
For one teacher who decided to bring her students to the fair, he says that understanding computer science will help his students in their careers, whether they use it in their future jobs or not.
What we've discovered is computer science as a literacy resembles algebra, English, the subjects that we all take that prepare us to be citizens in the world. The majority of students, they're going to take their passion, they're going to connect it to computer science, and hopefully it'll give them an edge over people that they might compete with for a job or a place in an internship.
And when the students weren't busy handing out resumes, they had the chance to experience the latest cutting-edge technology firsthand. The New York City Computer Science Opportunity Fair has grown in size and scope every year, and with guests at this year's event, including New York City Council members, the Chancellor of City Schools, and hip-hop pioneer Young Guru, that trend is sure to continue. As a major city, New York definitely gets its share of science fairs, hackathons, and STEM competitions. But in a Milwaukee suburb, students from around the country are meeting up to take part in a competitive STEM event of their own. Our Rena Diamante was on hand for the championship round of the Rube Goldberg Machine contest.
The objective is simple: open an umbrella. But getting there is the tricky part. 17 teams, dozens of high school students from across the country, hundreds of steps. This is the 2016 Rube Goldberg Machine Contest in Pewaukee, Wisconsin.
So a Rube Goldberg machine is a machine that is incredibly complicated with the intent of doing a really simple task.
Our theme is Super Mario Brothers. We have 75 steps. It was just created from toys lying around our house, so there's nothing electrical.
But there's a lot of science and engineering in every contraption.
A lot of kinetic energy to potential energy. Tons of levers and incline planes and wheel and axles, pulleys.
We have to consider the momentum of each object.
And hopefully, the trial and error process sets off a chain reaction of imagination and a love of learning.
It's a great way to show kids how fun and exciting engineering can be, real world fun stuff, and it's great to get kids involved at a young age.
When I pull the string, the highway to hell rises, sending the tour bus on its way, sending a ball bearing down into the cup of life, which falls down, allowing the washer to keep spinning round, right around, a ball bearing that goes on to hit chime after chime. It taught me a lot more about leadership, trying to work together, than it really did about mechanical engineering.
Life's not perfect. Our machines aren't perfect. You're going to face problems, and you're going to have to come up with ways of overcoming those problems and moving on in life, as in the Rube project.
Many of these teams are looking forward to next year's contest. The challenge will be announced this 4th of July, Rube Goldberg's birthday.
We consider being here winning. This is just like the tip of the iceberg. There was so much fun and so much enjoyment and hard work that we put in to get to this moment.
They've got a lot of great ideas, a lot of creativity, and it's exciting to see where they're going to go.
For 8/8 Rocket Science, I'm Rena Diamante.
All right, we have to stop for one more quick break. Then, coming up, we turn our focus from computers and engineering to the environment as we learn how one 11-year-old girl from Texas is using technology to help nature, not to mention running a nationwide business. Then we take a field day in New York Central Park as students learn about the science involved with rescuing injured wild animals, and we'll watch as they release 2 birds back into the wild. To find hands-on science, technology, engineering, and math opportunities in your community, visit theconnectory.org, made possible by Time Warner Cable's Connect a Million Minds.